Our last presenter is Job Lazarus Okello. Job Lazarus Okello. He is a diplomat and a TED speaker and a TCAD 7 scholar. He's also an author and at the same time also an engineer. Thank you very much, Job, for raising yourself or being present in our conference on values education. Job, you can now present.
I am deeply honored, blessed, and humbled to join fellow global educators today at the International Conference on Values Education. Education is not education without instilling the right values in learners. The 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, once said, "To educate a man in the mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society." Education is not just confined to a defined set of syllabus or knowledge of certain fields or having degrees and diplomas. A person can be highly versed with many subjects and still come up short in values. A truly educated person uses his knowledge, wisdom, intelligence, and understanding for the benefit of humanity. Quality education is value and virtue-based. It instills in learners powerful values and virtues like ethics, character, discipline, integrity, excellence, respect, empathy, honesty, and humility, among others. The values and virtues are necessary to make people successfully execute their activities for the good of humanity. It was the great Greek philosopher Aristotle who said, educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Today, values-based education is the greatest need of the hour. A valueless education is no education at all. Any education that does not instill human values in learners is no education at all. At best, it is miseducation. And we should never mistake miseducation for education. Today, we must ask ourselves, what are our values and virtues? What values has your education instilled in you? What do you stand for? What principles guide your life? What are you willing to die for under all circumstances? Nelson Mandela went to prison for 27 years because he had values that he could not compromise. He was willing to die for the values. Today, the world honors him because of the values he stood for, even under the toughest conditions of his life. How many people would stand such strong tribulations? What sacrifices are we willing to make because of the values that we are not willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to stand for, even at the point of death? What are your values that guide your life? In life, if you haven't found what to die for, then you haven't found what to live for. A valueless person is a liability to humanity. A valueless person is destructive to humanity. A valueless person is poisonous to humanity. The most destructive people in the world are those without values that they are not willing to compromise under any circumstance for any reason whatsoever. In life, if you don't have what to die for, then you don't have what to live for. What do you live for? Do you have a heart for humanity? What values and principles guide your life? One of the wisest men who ever lived, King Solomon, wrote that, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I've always said that the home is the best school ever. There is no better school than the home. It is in the home where the foundation of life is laid in the lives of people. Quick question, is your home a school? Values and virtues must first be taught at home before they are even taught in formal schools. Unfortunately, in many homes today, no one is properly taught values because of negligence of responsibility. Children from such families are at the mercy of their teachers in formal schools. Unfortunately, formal schools cannot fully instill values in people because the foundation of life must be laid at home, well before one sets foot at any formal school. Is your home a school? It is your responsibility to teach your children values from home first before they start formal schooling. Teachers in formal schools will then reinforce what you will have taught your children at home. What values have you instilled in your children at home? What values are we instilling in our children today? Today, we all decry the high level of moral degeneration among the people, especially the young people. But what values are we instilling in our young people? The less values we instill in the young people, the more they degenerate and the more we cry. As long as we don't instill proper values in people, we will continue to witness high level of moral degeneration. What are we teaching our children? What are our children watching, listening to, and reading? What are they exposed to? What are we teaching in our schools? What values are we instilling in our learners? Are we really in charge of what our children are learning? If we are not in charge of what our children are learning, then we are not in charge of what they are becoming. In my native language, we have a powerful proverb that says, Yat gitirwa futiri, which means a tree is straightened when it is young. How do we straighten the young trees? By instilling in them the right values with which they survive when they are alone. If we are not instilling human values in our children, then we are educating liabilities to humanity. The wise King Solomon wrote that knowing how to charm a snake is of no use if you let the snake bite first. We should not wait for the snake to bite first and then start running around looking for the solutions. It will then be too late. It is common knowledge that prevention is better than cure. We must always prevent what can be prevented so that we don't waste resources trying to treat what might never be curable. This requires proper values to be instilled in the people. We live in the information age, but not every available information is good. Some information is very destructive. Information must therefore be filtered so that we consume only what builds us. In life, what does not build us destroys us. Give people knowledge without building their character, and the society is gone. There are many people today who obtain their papers fraudulently. They have papers without values. They went to school and came back with great papers, but they are not educated people. They lack values that they stand for. How can we trust those people to serve humanity ethically? Knowledge is power. However, knowledge is useful only when correctly applied. Knowledge is very destructive when incorrectly applied. The knowledge which is supposed to guide people to success may be abused or even misused for malicious acts. To prevent this, a set of values is necessary to guide the use of knowledge. One must seek education not for only himself, but also for the common good of humanity. Any education that produces selfish people is miseducation. And miseducation is one of the greatest crimes against humanity. We must teach people to have humanity at heart by instilling in them human values with which they will serve humanity with all their might. Everyone should think in terms of we, not only me. The concept of Ubuntu is very important in solving the numerous crises the world faces today. Ubuntu upholds the view that I am because we are. Today you are because yesterday some people were. Tomorrow other people will be because today we are. With that knowledge in mind, we will do everything cautiously, knowing that we must have the right values to preserve the world for the future generations. Mother Teresa, a woman I love and respect, once said, a life not lived for others is not a life. This is one of the most beautiful statements I've ever heard in my life. If only we lived for one another, the world would not be in chaos and so many crises today. If only we lived for one another, we would not kill each other. If only we lived for one another, we wouldn't rob the future generations by misusing the resources with which we are supposed to build their future. If only we lived for one another, we would not have so much hatred in the world today. Quick questions. Whom do you live for? How many people in the world are you serving with your life? How many lives are you touching with your life? Today, there are over 7.8 billion people in the world. How many of them can say they are who, what, and where they are because of you? What are you doing in the lives of other people? How are you touching lives with your life in the world? A selfish life is a worthless life. If only we all had humanity at heart, there wouldn't be racism in the world today. We are all part of humanity. When you see anyone, you should see humanity. What do you see when you see someone from another tribe, country, region, or continent? Today, we despise other people and favor some people because we don't see humanity in everyone. Do you see humanity in everyone? If you see humanity in everyone, then you will serve everyone without discrimination whatsoever. We all belong to one big tribe called humanity. Why do we despise other people? Why is there so much discrimination in the world today? Who has taught us to hate one another? We hate each other so much because we lack values with which we should live together as humanity. Humanity is bigger than any particular tribe from any country. When I see anyone from anywhere, I see humanity. What is common to all of us is more important than all our differences combined. When we appreciate this, we will then unite in love. We are one big tribe called humanity, living in one big country called the world. When we appreciate this fact, we will then value everyone and despise no one. For that to happen, we must have the right values. Many of us should be familiar with the powerful story of the Great Wall of China. The ancient Chinese built the Great Wall of China with a lot of resources, believing that the wall will protect them from external attacks. They believe no one could climb it because of its height. They believe the wall would provide them the security they badly desired. Unfortunately, within the first 100 years, they were invaded 3 times. That left them thinking how their enemies managed to invade and attack them. Yet the wall was very high. The invaders did not need to climb the walls because they found an easy way every time and bribed the guards on duty, and the guards opened for them the doors. The guards betrayed the country for a few pennies, allowing the enemies to invade their own country via easy access to the main locked gates. The guards standing on the vital points were more important than the wall as far as the security of the people was concerned. If only their character had been built with the proper values instilled in them, they would not have opened the doors to the intruders. Many resources were spent to build a wall, but not the character of the people who should watch the gate. The result was destruction. There are powerful lessons for humanity to learn from that story. Impeccable character is the most effective and efficient wall for protection from any danger in any setting. Character is built through instilling in people the right values. In many countries today, many tall walls have been built to fight many vices. However, the vices remain alive and well. The more walls we build, the more cases of the vices we witness. Why are the walls built to fight the different vices failing to deliver the desired results? Because we are not investing enough resources to build the walls of character in people through instilling in them a set of human values. Accordingly, the various walls become various ways of invading the different systems instead of protecting the systems. Are there walls in your heart which will protect humanity? A solid character built through a set of values is more important than the high walls to protect the systems and people from internal and external intruders. The best defense against the enemy is not a fortified wall, but a fortified character built through a set of values. Therefore, the building of human character must precede the building of anything else. In every setting, the first enemy is always within. There is this powerful African proverb that says, if there is no enemy within, the enemy without can do us no harm. The enemies within are the people without the walls in their hearts. No matter how tall the walls around a system are, if there are no walls in the hearts of those in the system will be invaded. William Shakespeare, a man whose writings have shaped the lives of many people in the world, wrote in his powerful play, Julius Caesar, that the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. The statement is true today as it was even before he wrote it. We need to examine ourselves to get rid of the faults in ourselves, to clean our different systems. We must always check ourselves and make the necessary adjustments so that we remain on track as we serve humanity. When we change ourselves, our countries will change automatically. To change our systems, we must change ourselves. To change the world, we must change ourselves. To fix the world, we must fix ourselves. To transform the world, we must transform ourselves. We will never fix the world if we don't fix ourselves. When we fix ourselves, the world will fix itself automatically. Today, we live in a world full of chaos because many people lack values with which they should preserve the world. Sexual violence is rampant. There are many cases of terrorism in the world. Human trafficking, organ trafficking are on the rise. Human torture has become a norm in many countries. Markets are full of fake products. Corruption is increasing in many countries. Many people in different positions of authority are conniving to steal and misuse public resources, yet they know the right things to do. They manipulate the existing systems for their personal gains because they lack values. Values make the difference among people. People with values always stand for what is right, even if it is risky to do so. Accordingly, they stand out. Whenever a system does not deliver the desired results, it means at least someone in the system is not responsible in some way. We must all learn and practice values with which we will serve humanity without any compromise. We should make ourselves crime-free thinking and have respect for the laws we enact. Why should we not observe the very laws we enact to protect ourselves? An individual who has strong values does not need a lot of external laws to govern him, for his values will govern him. A society whose people have strong values and virtues does not need many laws because the values and virtues will govern the people. Whenever many laws are always being enacted, that means there are many faults with the people. When there are many faults with the people, then there are very few values. When there are very few values, then there are many crimes. The only people who will transform the world are the people with the right values that they don't compromise for any reason whatsoever. Those are the people we can count on to make the world better than what it is today. Are you one of them? Values breed responsibility. Without virtues and values, you will be irresponsible. Responsibility is knowing what to do and doing it. Irresponsibility is knowing what to do and not doing it. How responsible are we Without the right values, we will never make the world better than what it is today. I love the powerful Latin maxim that says, nemo dat quod non habet, which means one cannot give what one does not have. If you don't have the right values with which you should serve humanity, then how will you serve humanity? Without the right values with which you should build humanity, you will destroy humanity. You cannot give the values that you don't have. What do you have that you can offer to humanity? The success, development, prosperity, and future of a country depends on the values of the people. The future of a people depends on their values. The future of a person depends on their values. If you want to destroy a house, destroy its foundation. The foundation of a house carries an entire house. A house is only as strong as its foundation. To destroy a tree, destroy the roots. The roots of a tree anchor the whole tree. A tree is only as strong as its roots. What foundation was laid in your life? What are you rooted in? What foundation have you laid in the lives of your children? What is the foundation of your education, knowledge, wisdom, philosophies, and understanding? How strong is your foundation? When the whirlwind comes, will you withstand it because of your strong foundation, or it will sweep you off? Today, many people are wasting their lives because they lack proper values with which they should protect their lives. Many people are dying younger than they should because they are not in charge of their lives, because they lack the right values. They live as if someone else were responsible for their lives. Without the right values, you will waste your life. With the right values, you will jealously protect your life. Values-based education is the greatest tool for building the world today. Here's one of the most powerful statements about education that I have ever come across in my life. Destroying any nation does not require the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in the examinations by the students. The result is patients die at the hands of doctors, buildings collapse at the hands of engineers, money is lost at the hands of economists and accountants, humanity dies at the hands of religious scholars, justice is lost at the hands of judges, because the collapse of education is the collapse of the nation. What a statement. Meditate on that statement for a moment. The death of quality education is the death of a country. The growth of quality education is the growth of a country. The quality of education in a country is the quality of the country. In his song, Teach the World, the great South African reggae musician, Lucky Dube, said, take it upon yourself to restore your nation's dignity. In the same song, he said, everywhere you go, teach the world, teach them right. What will you do to restore your nation's dignity? What will you do to restore the dignity of humanity? What values will you teach humanity wherever you go? As advised by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Thank you very much. God bless you and God bless humanity.
Wow, thank you very much, Job, for that very inspiring words. Job is actually from Uganda. Job is from Uganda, and Job is currently finishing his master's degree. And very powerful speech that you have given as we end our conference for today, Job. And thank you for letting us reflect that home is still the best. No, home is the best school ever, and values should really be taught at home first. Thank you, Job. Let us give Job Lazarus Okello a round of applause. Thank you very much. And wow, what a presentation. Thank you, Job, again.